Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You, Say It Back. It's a podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. Turn me up, 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Welcome to another edition of I Love You, Say It Back. It's the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what's funny is someone asked me, this was actually probably like 2 months ago. Someone asked me, they're like, when do you think of what to say? Like, I'm always like, here we go. It's I Love You, Say It Back. It's a podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. And then I'll say something stupid like, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go. Right before the stuff kicks in. And like, what do you think of like, and I was like, you know what? I never think about it. Like, I don't think about that. It comes instinctively in the sense of, so sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's just like, what the fuck did he just, what the hell was he saying there? It's like, I'm feeling real hungry. Listen to this growl. Let's get it going. And it just works like that. So, if you're ever curious if we plan it, that's how much planning goes into that little opening bit there. But nonetheless, I'm so glad you're with me here on this episode of I Love You, Say It Back. It's a podcast. Hold on. I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to try switching mics over to this one. I like this one a lot better. That one can go right to hell. You see that transition? That was smooth. You guys will probably never notice what I notice, but in my head, I'm like a million times. Oh, I feel a hell of a whole lot better. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a show. We got a show for you today. We have a show for you, and I'm going to elaborate on what I mean by that in just a second. Want to remind you, if you're tuning in for the first time, especially if you're the lady at Express, I was at the Valley Plaza Mall earlier today, which I hadn't been to in forever. Raise your hand if you've been to the mall in the last like 5 years. I mean, I could count probably on my hand how many times I've been. No one goes to the mall. You ever think about that? Like Amazon put malls out of business. It's kind of crazy. I might have to add that to the whole thing. But anyways, if you're the lady who was at Express, I was chopping it up with her and her coworker, and we were, I didn't have any plans of going into Express, but I hate when this happens. I was like, you know what? Maybe, a couple tuxedos, not tuxedos, a couple suits and everything. I'm out at the outlets at Tahone, and it looks like we're going to be back doing some stuff with Tahone Casino out there for the month of March as well. So that's good news there. Yeah, it's good news there. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start investing in some more, these suits and everything. So I just kind of wandered in, didn't go in there with that plan whatsoever. But then you get caught, and it's like I went during the slow time of day. So it's like there's nobody in the store besides me and the workers. And all of a sudden you're caught in a loop where you're like, damn, I feel like a piece of crap if they're showing me all these suits, they're showing me all these tuxedos, they're showing me all these, which by the way, they have fantastic stuff, not a paid ad, but they do have some really good casual stuff, but like really nice looking stuff. You know what I'm talking about. But we ended up chopping it up, and she was telling me, she's like, yeah, I'm from LA. Then I moved down south to San Diego or somewhere area, then up north towards the Bay Area, and somehow ended up in Bakersfield. Shout out to you. Maybe you're listening for the first time. Maybe you're just like her and her coworker. Hit that subscribe button. I even pulled it, or she pulled up her Apple podcast, and I was like, yeah, it's so easy to find. And hopefully you found it. Hopefully you got the alert, and hopefully you're listening. I'll see you in there. I'm probably going to get that light green one. Light green one was fire. But yeah, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, wherever it is, hit that subscribe, hit that follow, and let's keep up to date on everything we got going on, and lots of fun stuff on the way. I want to start with this though. Also, be sure to follow us on socials at ILY Say It Back Pod. I am at Vic D Radio, and on YouTube as well. Check us out over there, folks. I feel like I've been neglecting the podcast. Vic, what do you mean? This is fantastic. This is still the best thing I've ever heard. I know. Listen, trust me. Me neglecting a podcast is better than a lot of the crap that you're hearing. Okay? That's just the cold hard facts. I'm kidding. But no, truly I do. And I was trying to pinpoint exactly what it was. And I'm wondering, you guys know exactly everything, pretty much everything going on with my life, with so much going on. This is what half of this damn podcast is about. But we've been so busy with so many things that, like, especially with the Tejon things. With, we started last week our campaign for Blood Cancer United, which, by the way, we announced the golf tournament earlier. Super excited to be out there with some of you guys, and thank you so much. Sponsors, we got free beer sponsors, we got food covered. Join us out there; it's gonna be fun. So that's gonna be April 10th at Kern River. So we got that going on. This Friday, we're doing Read Across America. I got 2 schools that I'm doing there. And then next week, I'm doing, got a full slate of more schools that we're doing there. We got the comedy show coming up. That's going to be coming up next month. We have the fight night that's coming up on top of trying to grow this and build this. And, I don't know if you guys ever put together like a golf tournament or ever been involved with anyone. This shit is absolutely nuts. Like, there is no detail that is like, you have to make a phone call, you got to send an email, and then there's so many things that are like depending on this response is how I'm going to be able to respond to this. It's like, it's disgusting. There is so much. So please join our golf tournament. Help us raise money. I'll go to Blood Cancer United. But I feel like in saying all that, there's been a lot of, there's been also personal stuff that we've dealt with, like, that I'm sure will come to light sooner than later. But, it's just, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like the normal care and love that I put into this podcast that I care very deeply about, I feel like that because of this podcast, I'm getting the opportunities that I'm getting. So I don't want to ever, like, I don't want to ever take my finger off of the importance of this thing. But the truth is, I feel like I have been distracted. I feel like I have been not putting in the normal prep work, and I take my prep very seriously. The reason and what I think stands out and separates this podcast from a lot of other stuff, and this even goes back to my radio days, is my preparation. I love preparing. And you know what preparing looks like to me? It looks like living. It looks like doing stuff. It looks like, oh my gosh, you're like, my prep isn't necessarily, sit down, let me start thinking about shit. No. My prep happens when I'm living. For example, over the weekend, we were, so by the way, just to put a bow on that, if it sounds like if it's been great or whatever it is, there's a lot going on. And sometimes you ever feel like, when you make yourself a good Thanksgiving plate and you're like, man, there's so much I don't even know where to start. Or you have so much to do that you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to do nothing. I have such a long list that I know it's not going to get done. So I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to take my time right now to take a nap, because who knows when I get an opportunity to take a nap. That's kind of where I feel like where I'm at right now. And it's a lot. But, speaking of living and doing things like this, what I'm about to say is not news to anybody, but I wanted to reiterate it. Over the weekend, I was in Vegas, and it wasn't one of those like crazy nightclub. It wasn't one of those trips. It wasn't like anything like that at all. So maybe that's why I was able to. The last 2 times that I've been to Vegas have been super chill, like trips, trips where you enjoy Vegas. I think I had maybe like 1 or 2 like old fashioned or something like that. But I guess my point that I'm trying to get to is there is so much to do in Vegas. Oh my, like, you think that that how much there is to do in Vegas because you've been to all the nightclubs. You've been to 4, 5, 6 nightclubs, and you hit the casinos, and you think, oh my gosh, that is not even close, sweetheart. There is an infinity. Like, it feels like it never ends. It never stops. It never turns off. You open one door and that door leads you to another bar, another nightclub, Vegas is freaking insane, honestly. And I'm really glad that the last 2 times that I've been to Vegas have been on totally like tourist, like just enjoy it. I'm not going to go out, get drunk, get pissed drunk, and not remember anything, and go to a nightclub where it's like, and you stay there all night. We've just been walking around, just exploring, seeing things. Saw the flamingos at the Flamingo. Did you even know that was a thing? No, I didn't either. Like, and that's just like, we were walking on the strip hear music, you open the door, and it's the coolest little New York style bar. This is just one example. Coolest little New York style bar, right? Tiny little thing. They've got old phone booths. They got graffiti. It's themed. It's just, they absolutely nailed it, as Vegas does mostly. But folks, there's a door in there. It's a tiny little place. There's a door in there. You open that door. It's like a door to Narnia. There's another club. Okay. So you keep walking up. You make a little left. Suddenly you see like blue lights and there's stairs. Well, we went up those stairs. That leads you to a whole nother club. And I'm like, this is a tiny little door on the strip that like, what are we doing? There is so much to do. There is so much to eat. I don't even know. I wonder how long you could truly live in Vegas and not eat the same thing twice. Again, what I'm saying right now is not news to anybody. This isn't shocking to anybody, but I just want to reiterate, there's so much to do in Vegas. Vegas is freaking awesome. And if you think that you know a lot because you hit the bars and the nightclubs, that's not even, if you've just been to the strip, that's not even close. Went to the El Cortez. I got a funny story about that. The reason why we ended up even going there. Actually, I'll tell it to you right now. We were at the Hard Rock Casino last week. Never heard of the El Cortez. These two women, lovely couple, come up and, I'm talking to everybody, conversing. And they had a question about the slots. And I was like, well, I'm not really sure. I just kind of MC these things. But there was a worker explained it. And I was like, hey, by the way, while I have you here, I was like, where do you play? Where do you what slots or where do you play in Vegas? Because they were saying that in Vegas it was different and they wanted to know how it was compared to Vegas. So I was like, okay, you guys go to Vegas. Where do you play in Vegas? And what do you play? And they're like, you're going to laugh at us, but we go to the El Cortez. I was like, what the hell is the El Cortez? I immediately put up my guard. I was like, sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like a gangster club, And she's like, well, it's on Fremont. It's out there. It's in the old Vegas. And I was like, yep, I'm out. Hear me out. That's not the end of the story. So I said, I'm out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Never heard of El Cortez. The way they described it, I Googled it. I said, nope, no, thank you. I'm not going. I'll stay safe on the strip, wherever I'm going, in and out, blah, blah, blah. I kid you not. I go from never hearing about El Cortez in my entire life, ever. And I'm sure a lot of you listen, you never heard of it. You're like, the hell's El Cortez? Google it. But then the next person, I'm talking about maybe 15, 20 minutes, seconds, 15, 20 seconds after I finished my conversation with that couple, another couple walks up. The gentleman is wearing a windbreaker and it says El Cortez, Las Vegas. And I was like, how did I just go from never hearing about El Cortez to suddenly I have a conversation about it, laugh, make some jokes about it, and suddenly this next guy's wearing a windbreaker. You know what I took this? I don't know how you guys do this stuff, but I take that as a sign that I need to go gamble. I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't really care what we do in Vegas for this trip. I know it's a chill trip. The only thing I request, the only thing I ask is that we make one quick little stop at the El Cortez. And I got to be honest with you, I was thoroughly impressed. The El Cortez is actually sweet. First of all, it's huge. Yes, it's in old, I want to keep saying old Kern. It's in old Vegas, but honestly, it's awesome. If you go down to old Vegas, Fremont Street, whatever, check it out. Completely different. So I'm talking about when you explore Vegas differently than just getting super drunk and walking the strip. And there's so much more to see outside of that. It's incredible. And again, I'm not saying anything that nobody doesn't know, but I was blown away that the last two times that I've gone at how much I didn't know. It's almost like these conspiracy theories or when you find out about when you do these, when you look at when you look at these videos of how big the universe is and you're like, well, you know what? This is a little pebble right here. This is Earth. And then they zoom out and then they're like, well, now that little thing is it's like, whoa, there's so much. There's so much. But, chill weekend. Vegas was fun. Incredible food, in and out. I will also say this. This wasn't even part of the thing. And I always get a lot of pushback when I say this, but I wholeheartedly believe it. I think eating and trying new foods, although I encourage it, and I try it myself, is overrated. Vic, oh my gosh, you need to try new things. Shut the I'm so over trying. I'm not over it, but I am so over spending so much money to try something new, and I'm thoroughly disappointed and not full. I take my meals very serious, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how you guys are. I know a lot of you guys, the cool thing to say is, if I'm going to go somewhere, I'm going to try the new thing. I have to try the new stuff. I'm so excited. Yeah. Somehow you never report on how good that was. You know what's good? A little In-N-Out, because that's where we ended up going. In-N-Out is freaking incredible. It was very cheap. It's the same exact price as it is here in Bakersfield, which is kudos to In-N-Out for not raising those prices, even though you easily could because you're right on the strip. But yeah, every time, I want to do it. I want to try it. And don't get me wrong. There's been times where we've had good food that you wouldn't normally have. Yes, I get that. But some of you guys are so corny that you just want to say that you try something new. I like trying new foods. Yeah. Well, you're disappointed 90% of them, 90% of the time. And guess what? You spent like 400% more than you normally would. And I don't mind spending the money, and I don't mind spending or trying new foods. But when the combination keeps coming back to way too much, not good, and I'm not full, I'm not happy. By the end of it, we're like, you know what's going to make us happy? In-N-Out. We know it's not going to be that expensive. In-N-Out. You know what's going to be delicious and fill us up? In-N-Out, 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 In-N-Out. And you guys are like, oh my God, you could have had In-N-Out. Yes. And you know what? Never disappointed. I'm always happy. We tried $35 fettuccine and it was ass. It was garbo. It was flavorless. And it didn't have chicken. It didn't have nothing. I could have gone to Olive Garden, got the tour of Italy for $23 and got fettuccine, chicken, lasagna, endless breadsticks. Don't get me started, sweetheart. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I know we love to pretend that if you go somewhere, you've got to try something new. You've got to try. I keep trying new things. I keep trying all these new things I keep doing it your way. And I keep being disappointed and overpaying like crazy. So I know it's cool to say, but keep that in mind. Don't let people shame you into, you have to try new things. You have to, oh my gosh, I can't believe you went to internet. If you're on vacation, you're spending your own damn money. Spend it however you want. That was a little rant. I had none of that planned, I'll be honest with you. But every time I do something like that, I'm like, no, we got to try something new. We got to try something different. And then it's just like, well, why the hell did we just spend $80 on something that was super unsatisfying? Meanwhile, $25 at In-N-Out is going to make me completely happy. Okay, by now, folks, we all know the story of Punch. We talked about it last weekend. The monkey that was abandoned. I believe it was in Japan. Forgive me if I'm wrong. It's somewhere in Asia, but he's at a zoo, and now the lions are out the door. This story has taken over. It's been viral on the news. It's been viral everywhere. And, obviously I talked about, so it's been kind of a little bit of a roller coaster story. Just to catch you up a little bit, if you're unfamiliar, Punch was born to a mom who abandoned him, right? Again, this isn't uncommon. This isn't like, oh my gosh, I never heard of none of this in the monkey kingdom, in the monkey world, whatever. It seems like that is something that is not uncommon. Maybe they're threatened. Maybe they don't feel, whatever it is. It's not uncommon in the animal kingdom for this particular thing or the species to do this. Sad, but not uncommon. It's just animal life. So the internet, the zookeepers go crazy because this little baby doesn't have its mom because she doesn't want him. And he's lusting for the warmth of a mom. So they replace mom with a cute little plush toy that is like an orangutan, and it becomes attached to it because with no mom, this is its only friend. The other monkeys are bullying him, and they're tossing him around. Like, the videos are heartbreaking, dude. The videos are absolutely heartbreaking. But then there was some good news a few days after we talked about it last week, where it's like, hey, he was taken in. He was accepted by another adult monkey that took him in, and it seemed like his story was going to have a happy ending. Well, the couple of days after that, it seems like there was back to being bullied, and I mean, this story's gone just kind of all over. But nonetheless, this Punch, this monkey, has not let go of his little plushie toy, and I'm telling you, just even explaining it, it makes me feel some type of way. This story's got everything that you need for, right? Like, Hollywood's got to make a movie of this. It feels like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? Nobody wanted him, like this and that. But I guess my point is, it has all the makings of a great story. And the latest on this is that the zoo has gone absolutely bonkers. The lines are out the door. Over 10,000 people went to go see Punch over the weekend. Just over the weekend. And I'm telling you, if this was in the United States, I wouldn't mind. I would have already looked at flights. Now, Japan's a little bit further away. You got to make some choices there. But this story's got the world and the internet and all of us in a chokehold. And you know the part that breaks my heart the most about this whole Punch story? Yes, it breaks my heart that the other monkey, that he was abandoned by his mom. It breaks my heart that the other monkeys wouldn't take him in. It breaks my heart that his only little friend is a little plushy toy and he just won't let go of it. But you know what part breaks my heart the most is that he's still in this zoo with other animals and with other monkeys that don't like him, don't care about him. And you just see him kind of jumping around, like trying to be friends, trying to play, he's a baby. But what breaks my heart the most about this whole story is that Punch will never know or realize the amount of love and commotion and outpour of empathy and love and the way he's united the world. Like, he has no idea. His reality is, well, I just wake up in the zoo and I go hang out, and these other monkeys hate me. They toss me around and I just run back to my plushie. It breaks my heart that, like, there's memes, there's so many things that are going on in the world on the internet that are saying, like, we love Punch so much. I wish I could hug him. I wish I could hold him. And, like, he doesn't know that. So his only reality is, yeah, my peers hate me. These other monkeys hate me. My mom didn't, like, love me. This is my friend. And that part kills me. I wish there was a way that we could, because he's used to people at the zoo all the time. It's not like he's going to pick up on, like, hey, there used to be 50 people here. Now there's 100. Now there's 200. Like, he's not going to realize, like, oh, it's because these people are bullying me and now there's plushie and I'm so cute. He doesn't realize that. He's never going to feel that love from us. I don't know. That's a part that breaks my heart the most. I've seen videos. There's been conflicting reports on all of this. Somebody makes sense of the damn thing, because as of yesterday or the day before, I saw a video where he's still in that little place with the other monkeys, but they had him in a cage because the other monkeys were bullying him. I'm like, that point, take his ass out of there. Somebody's got to protect Punch. Ain't gonna be me. It's just too far. But somebody's got to do those zookeepers. Come on, man. How about if someone punches Punch, you punch him right back? You'd be like, you know what? You teach him a lesson. This is our boy. This is our baby. You ain't going to fuck with Punch and just get away with it. This is the star of the show. And all he wants to do is love on y'all. He didn't have his mom. All he has is that damn plushie who he thinks is his mom. And you guys are out here tossing and turning him around. And then he runs back to his plushie. That breaks my heart. Punch. Just an absolutely unbelievable story. Another story that happened over the weekend, you may or may not have heard. U.S. men and women's hockey beat Canada to take the gold medal. That was absolutely electric. The only unfortunate part of that, because if you watch sports, I'm guaranteeing you a lot of people are pretending that they got up and watched. You did not wake up and watch it. A lot of people did, but a lot of people that are claiming that they got up and watched, they didn't watch it. You watch a replay, just like I did. I didn't watch it. Boy was sleeping. But it is pretty electric. Nothing has united the internet or the United States more than Punch in U.S. men and women's hockey. I mean, we were a divided country, and for a split second, we are a divided country, but for a split second, the United States men and women's national hockey team taking gold has united us, or did unite us for at least a split second, and it felt damn good. And Punch has just thrown in this whole like empathy, love, oh my gosh, we need him, we love him story into the mix. So it's been a roller coaster of emotions. And then, of course, we all go back to hating each other and pretending that we know and we're having any control over this politics shit. But at least for a moment, it's almost like, I always use this example. It's almost like when you and your brother, big brother, little brother, you guys are constantly fighting, right? But when you have a common enemy, nothing unites you like a common enemy. And on Sunday, the common enemy was Canada. And in both cases, we won, men and women. So congratulations. It's pretty damn cool. Just as I'm not a big hockey guy, I'm not going to pretend. And there's been a lot of corny ass I feel like people are going over the top with the celebrations. They don't really care that much. They weren't following along the whole time, but they see everybody else celebrating. They're like, USA, USA. They're like, and you're only doing it to be part of that. You're not doing it because you genuinely care. You're doing it because, oh, it's cool to say like, I'm an American, and I'm just like, it's just like, yo, I get it. I'm excited because I think it's badass that our country dominated another country at their sport. Hockey. That's when you think hockey, you think Canada, baby. And we beat them at that. That's badass. That's why I'm celebrating. Some of y'all motherfuckers out here just like, yeah, I just want to put on this. Just shut the fuck up. But very cool. Nothing has united the internet the way Punch and the U.S. men's and women's hockey team did, at least over the weekend. One thing that has also united, you know, that's actually a great point. Can I add one more to? Of course I can. It's my podcast. I'm going to add one more thing to the whole unity of the world, or the United States. Nothing has united the United States in the last few days, weeks, more than these three things. More than Punch the Monkey, the U.S. men and women's hockey team defeating Canada and winning gold, and Ella Langley just putting out banger after banger after banger after banger. This woman has not missed. It is incredible what Ella Langley has done. She just put out Be Her. She drinks wine by the glass, not by the bottle. She ain't the man, not worried about tomorrow. She's a mother, a lover, a sister and wife. I got to stop because then I'm singing that too good where they're going to be like, hey, were you playing her song? You don't have the right. So I'll just stop it right there. But Be Her's a banger. Dandelion, banger. Of course, everybody by now has heard Choosing Texas. That was just like a viral sensation, put you on the map type of hitter. But Ella Langley's just on fire. And, you know, I always say this when artists like just blow up crazy and they don't miss. I said this about Morgan Wallen when he put out his album. And I mean, 1 through 30, whatever songs it was like, he didn't miss a single one. He didn't miss a single one, sweetheart. I was like, this man definitely sold his soul because his music is that damn good. Ella Langley, you put out one more banger, I'm going to be fully convinced that you sold your soul. That's how good your music is right now. So we thought today we would do, in honor of Ella Langley, we would do our In Case You Didn't Knows, 3 fun facts, 3 in case you didn't knows about Ella Langley, because she is absolutely on fire with her music and looks too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. In case you didn't know, Ella Langley has expressed that one of her biggest regrets is not sticking to piano lessons as a kid. In case you didn't know, piano lessons as a kid, I never did, but I wish I would have stuck to an instrument. So relatable. We have so much in common. In case you didn't know, her song, You Look Like You Love Me, you know, the excuse me, you look like you love me. Her song, You Look Like You Love Me with Riley Green was actually never meant to be released. In case you didn't know. In case you didn't know, she worked at a trampoline park in high school. In case you didn't know. And we'll add one more little bonus. In case you didn't know, first song she learned on the guitar was Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. In case you didn't know. There you go. Those are your 3 Ella Langley, 4. Those are your fun facts. Your in case you didn't know's Ella Langley edition. She's one more banger from me having to do some TikTok. Okay, where has she been the last couple weeks? What conversations? We start putting from me playing like vinyls backwards, see if there's any like satanic words to them. Like, you better put out a dud. Put out like a horrible song. Throw the scent off the trail a little bit. Dandelions. This new album is just going to be incredible. Dandelions, Choosing Texas, and Be Her. She's just got to go. Oh, like that little vibe is incredible. What else do we got here? Vegas. Okay, let's get into our Wednesday wisdom. This one was, I wouldn't say it was tough for me to really give advice on, simply because I feel like I can take a position on this, but it's not the position of the person who wrote in. Let's get into it. Listen to this. They're actually very, very polite. Hi, Vic D. Love the pod. We call it potty at home. That's no one's ever said that. I'm actually surprised. We call it potty at home. Hey, turn on the potty. I'm a mom of 4, and my oldest son is now dating age, 19, and I don't think the girl he recently introduces to is a good girl. I usually don't input myself in these situations, but she was very bratty and takes advantage of my son. He's always on her time and demands attention when she wants it. My son has a job, friends, and family, but it feels like she wants to pull him away. As a mom, where do you think the boundaries are? Should we speak up, let it be and let it fizzle out? You were 19 once. How do you think you'd handle it? Thanks. Love you. Say it back. Very polite, very awesome family. Shout out to you and your 4 kids and your husband. Appreciate the love, and I appreciate you guys listening to the potty more than anything. Thank you for listening to the potty, maybe on the potty. By the way, make sure everybody at home is downloading it too on their phones. You know, that's an extra 6-7 downloads we get to be having there. But yes, so I think this is actually tough. I actually wish I would have had a conversation with this about with my sister. Now, my sister is a mom of 3 young boys, but I think as a mom, you start to think about this stuff. You're like, oh, like what kind of parent would I be as I get older, or how would I try to handle, or how do I think I would handle these situations? And I do think it's interesting because I can't speak as not only a parent, but I can't speak as a mom. But here's what I do know. Couple things, and I want to unwrap this very carefully. First of all, you have to know your son. You have to know your kid, your child. Is he the kind of kid, and I think I was very much this way. In fact, I still feel this way. I very much would want my family to love the person I was with as much as I did. Well, obviously that's not true. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want them to love him too. If I was dating someone and my family's just like, we don't like her, we don't like that, I don't think that wouldn't be my determining factor. Like, I don't need you to approve, or I don't need you. But I also feel like my family's got a good pulse and they care about my best interests. So if there's a reason why they didn't like her, there's got to be a reason why. I think there's got to be a deeper meaning to it. Am I just being blinded? Am I just so in love that I'm failing to see red flags because I am in love, because I'm caught up? So long term, yeah, to me, I think not only my mom, but like my dad, my sisters, like the people in my life, in fact, my friends too. You want your friends, ideally, we all want the people that we grew up with, our friends, our family, to love the person that we love as well. That's ideal. Do you say something about it? Let me think about when I was 19. This is where it comes down to you got to know your kid. If your kid is the type of kid who is now he has a job, he has friends, he sounds like a mature kid. So I think he would be receptive to it. But my job here is to kind of point all scenarios out, right? If you have the type of kid who's going to be like, nah, my mom's hating, she thinks that, like maybe this girl's a little hottie, maybe 19-year-old hottie, and maybe he's bagging the baddest girl at school. Maybe she's like the prize. So you can't tell him nothing at that age that's going to be like, yeah, he's going to take her side. Whether you're right or you're wrong, he's going to take her side. And how that damages your relationship, look, he's 19. Odds are that this is not the love of his life. Odds are that this is not the girl that he's going to, his future wife, especially if you're describing what you're describing. So I would say just be careful. I wouldn't have a problem with you speaking up if you think that he's going to be receptive to it. That's where your job is to know what kind of kid you have and how to deliver that message. I would almost go as far as asking him the questions. Hey, what was it that you and I'm going to make up a name with Susie? What was it that you and Susie were doing the other night? And oh, so you skipped baseball practice to go over to, okay. I see it. And that didn't bother you? Okay. You're okay with that? Like, just kind of more so pointing things out via question rather than being like, why is she doing this? Why are you making time to spend your day and your time on her time? Why doesn't she ever come over? Or why don't you guys hang out when you're available? Why is it always when she wants to? So if you have these concerns, I think there's a way to approach it and a way to deliver the message that isn't going to cause him to be like, oh, I'm going to put my guard up immediately. Here's the other thing, and I know this is going to be unpopular for me to say because I'm not a parent and I'm especially not a mom. But we got to think about this, moms. And I'd be curious to hear what dad has to say about this. Only because I know moms love their kids. I know moms want the best for their kids. Is it possible? I'm not saying this is the situation in this case. I'm saying, is it possible that we sometimes, as caring parents, see things a little hypersensitive? We're a little hypersensitive to, my son needs to be treated a certain way, the only way he deserves the best because he's the best kid. Yeah, that's your baby. You grew up with him. You've seen everything. The good, the bad, the highs, the lows, the ugly, the good grades, the celebrations, the birthdays. You've seen it all. You think your baby deserves the best. Every single good parent does. So is it possible to be a little hypersensitive about the way he's being mistreated? That's where you got to ask yourself that question. Am I, as a mom, thinking too much of this? Have that conversation with your husband. That's me pointing everything out. You should speak up if you think he's the right kid, and you gotta, or if you think he's going to be receptive to it, and also how you deliver the message can be incredibly powerful. Almost by pointing things out, asking him questions. Also ask yourself, are you being hypersensitive as a caring, loving person of your firstborn? My job here is not to be liked. My job here is to kind of hold up a mirror and make you ask yourself these questions. That is your Wednesday Wisdom. Vic D spoken. Great question. We got a lot of relationship questions over the last few weeks, but I think this is a fantastic little switch up here. Let's wrap it up with a little late night trivia. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's 2:37. This podcast comes out at 5. Oh boy. Comes out at 5. Let's wrap it up. Late night trivia. Here we go. I want you to think about your wallpaper on your phone, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about that wallpaper on your phone. 11% of Americans have this as their lock screen on their cell phone. 11% of Americans have this as their lock screen on their cell phone. What is it? Think about it. Pause me if you need to. A picture of themselves. Whoa. That is an absolutely wild move. I'm not going to lie. I've seen a couple of them in the wild. Like without realizing it, they have their phone down, they get a message, you see their wallpaper. Like, what do you mean it's a selfie of you? Like, that's very middle age. That's very, like, I've never seen, like, what are we doing? That's like lady in her late 40s, 50s. Like, I don't know what it is, but that is such a wild move to have a selfie as your own wallpaper. I mean, go get a dog. I mean, go get to start a family. Let's do something here. We got to switch that up. What's my wallpaper right now? I have mountains. I don't know if y'all could see. My wallpaper is mountains. It's and I think that was in Redwood National Park. I was on a little gondola and I just took an awesome shot. But there you go. 11% of Americans have, and if they have a wallpaper themselves. If that is you, please stop. I'm asking for you. I'm telling you what your friends and your family won't tell you. Change that shit. Y'all have a great night. Sleep good. Que soy con los angelitos. I love you. Say it back. Tomorrow, Hard Rock Casino. We are giving away a kilo of gold. I've said it before. Giving away a kilo of gold sounds illegal, which is why it's so fun to say, hey, how you doing? Hey, we're going to get you a little kilo of gold. Tomorrow, Hard Rock Casino, the grand finale, a kilo of gold. We're still going to get like 9-10 people entered into this thing. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't gotten entered, you still have time. Lots going on. Hit me up if you guys want any more information about the golf tournament. Super excited. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for all your love. We'll see you on the next one. Try to do better the next time. Y'all have a great night. Sleep good. Peace. Check us out on socials at Say Back Pod. I love you. Say Back. Bye.